Hi, and welcome to Positively Sparking, podcasts on internet marketing, online business, entrepreneurship, and digital living. Today I'm going to be chatting with Dina Behrman, PR expert and publicity coach. We're going to be chatting over with Dina why she believes every business is entitled to PR and why it should be part of your marketing mix. So hey Dina, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. It's good to have you here. So we're looking forward, Dina, to learning lots about PR and publicity today. And you are, of course, an expert and coach in this field. So just tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are and what you do.
Yeah, so I spent 10 years working as a journalist, started off working on a local newspaper and then worked for a few different women's magazines and then had a job as a commissioning editor at the Sunday Mirror magazine. And then I worked as a freelance journalist and was writing for lots of different newspapers and magazines. And I realized I needed to diversify because as a freelance, I think freelancers in any kind of field will recognize the kind of feast and famine cycle that you can have with the work. So I knew that I needed a couple of, extra income streams. So I did some training as a copywriter and I set up a business. Initially, it was doing PR and copywriting. But sort of over time, I ended up doing PR coaching and working with entrepreneurs who wanted to learn how to do their own PR. And I had a little break work last year and relaunched my business and kind of rebranded and set up as a publicity coach, working with predominantly female entrepreneurs, teaching them how to do their own PR and how to get featured in the media.
Which is a great skill for any entrepreneur or business person to know, isn't it? Dina, it sounds there like you've really evolved into what you do, which many businesses go through, don't they? So tell us a bit about how you feel you're in a great position now to be that PR and publicity coach. What experiences in your past have helped you get there?
Well, I think because I've got that kind of insider knowledge of how the media works, I think that's really helpful. So I have worked kind of, as a staff journalist. So I sort of know what it's like when you're contacting journalists who are working on staff. I've also worked as a freelancer, kind of pitching stories into the press. So I know that side of it as well. And as a commissioning editor, I used to receive hundreds of press releases every week from different PRs and businesses and organizations and people wanting to get featured in the magazine. So I'm very good at kind of spotting what makes a good story and being able to pick out a good press release amongst lots of less good press releases. So I think because I've got that kind of insider knowledge of what it's like working as a journalist, and as I said, also being a freelance journalist and having to pitch myself to editors, I've kind of been on both sides of the fence. So I've got a pretty good understanding of how it all works and, what makes a good story and how to write a good press release and how to write a good pitch.
Great stuff. So it sounds like you have a good insight into the mindset of everybody involved, whether they're the editor or the staff writer or even the person making the pitch.
Yeah, I mean, it's helpful that I've kind of been on both sides of the fence in terms of the person receiving the pitches, and I've been someone that's been sending pitches. So I kind of know, I've got some good experience of how that works. And since I've been running my business, I've been working with lots of different business owners across different niches, and I've been able to help them. So, we all kind of learn more as our business evolves as well. So I've been able to learn kind of new tips and techniques just from having the experience of actually working with some of my clients and trying out different things. Good
stuff. So can you tell us about the power of good PR? What does it do?
Yeah, I'm a massive advocate of PR, and I think that all small business owners should be using PR because it can be so powerful. And there are, so many great benefits to it. It helps you with, raising your profile and getting yourself out there. It's a really good thing to have alongside all your other marketing efforts. I think it complements any other kind of marketing that you're doing with social media or email marketing or whatever it is. Having PR really complements that, and I think gives you that extra boost. So it's really great for things like positioning you as an expert. If you're someone that wants to be seen as an authority in your field, then PR, I think, can be one of the most effective ways to do that. It's really great for getting you in front of more of your ideal clients. So it can be really useful for building your email list. You can get a lot more subscribers. It can really help you to build your social media following, and it can lead to more sales as well. And I've got clients that have seen that as a direct result of their PR activities. They can track that they've got extra subscribers, extra social media followers, and they can track the extra sales that have come in as well. Yeah, I think there are so many benefits to it. And if you do it right, it can be really powerful.
So those are all great and fantastic things for any business. So why do you believe a lot of new businesses, especially, come to look at PR as almost the last choice in their marketing? They tend to do other things first, don't they?
Yeah, I think people are scared of PR. I think that there's a lot of mystery surrounding PR and the media, and people don't know exactly how it works. And I think there's this idea that you have to know the right people and that kind of thing. So I think there's a lot of mystery surrounding it, and people don't fully understand how it works. And I think the idea does scare people sometimes, having to get in touch with a journalist or having to be interviewed. It can seem like a really daunting prospect. So I think that's why a lot of people would potentially be put off from doing it.
Definitely. I know one thing I can say in my world of web marketing, there are so many sites and ebooks and all kinds of resources that will claim, at least, to show us how to do web marketing. But there is far less so for PR. So I think that's one of the reasons too. It feels like we can go and learn AdWords or SEO, whereas PR is a different creature. So as you say, it almost feels a little bit exclusive.
Yeah, I think as well, you've got your traditional print media, which a lot of people see as quite old-fashioned in a way. And some businesses would think that doesn't really relate to them, especially, if they're online businesses. But I think the great thing about PR is there are so many different media channels out there. So you have got your blogs, your online publications, your podcasts. There is a lot that you can do. And, it's not about, I think sometimes maybe people think, it's getting featured in your local newspaper or something like that. And then they think, well, that's not really relevant to my business. But there is a lot that you can do. You can find where your ideal clients are hanging out, and you can target those specific media outlets that your ideal clients are tuning into.
Great stuff. So Dina, you focus on women entrepreneurs. So tell us why you made that choice and why it's right for your business.
Yeah, it's interesting you asked that, actually. I've got a launch going on at the moment for an online program, and I actually just had the first guy who signed up to it. And he emailed me beforehand, and he was asking me, is anything that you're teaching kind of specifically only going to be suitable for women, or is it going to work for anyone? And obviously what I'm teaching is universal, it does work for anyone. My marketing's kind of evolved over the years. When I started my business, when I was doing kind of the PR and the copywriting, I was just marketing to anyone and everyone and trying to work with anyone and everyone. And it was kind of over time that I realized I needed to niche down a bit. I couldn't market to everyone, and that not everything was within my kind of zone of genius. And as a journalist, I did work on a lot of women's magazines, and I did a lot of kind of health and well-being writing and kind of lifestyle pieces. So I guess my from the journalist perspective, a lot of my experience was more with kind of would fit better with female business owners wanting to kind of get featured in the media. And so it just kind of happened over time when I was kind of looking to streamline my marketing a bit. I ended up kind of having my ideal client in my mind and thinking, well, it's a female entrepreneur. And I guess wanting to help someone who had, a similar kind of business to me, mostly sole traders, women who are wanting to stand out, in the online business world, and people wanting to kind of get heard in business. So yeah, I kind of ended up going that way and working predominantly with female entrepreneurs. And I think the other thing with that is that, you can't make any sweeping statements to say that all female entrepreneurs are like this and all male entrepreneurs are like that. But I think a lot of female entrepreneurs that I speak to seem to be possibly more fearful about putting themselves out there, maybe not so confident about putting themselves forward as an expert, and possibly that's something that male entrepreneurs wouldn't feel so much. I don't know. Obviously, it's going to be different for everyone. But I feel like that's something I can help with as well, the kind of the mindset side of it, and having that confidence to put yourself forward as an expert and to be seen, in the press, and to kind of start getting that those eyes on your business. So yeah, it's kind of just ended up going that way, that I've been working with female entrepreneurs, and my marketing's sort of very targeted at female entrepreneurs. But obviously, everything that I teach is universal and would work for anyone who has a business and wants to get PR coverage.
All makes perfect sense, Dina. Your past experiences, I can see how they particularly help you with female entrepreneurs and companies which are more relevant to the magazines that you used to work for, because you understand that part of the market, maybe that little bit better than the rest of the industry. So it makes complete sense. And I think it's good to really niche down. It makes marketing and brand messaging so much simpler because we've made that choice.
Yeah, definitely.
So with all that great experience that you have, what do you look for when you're working with new clients right now? What do you think makes a female-fronted new business have the potential to succeed, at least in PR?
Well, I always say that I think that any kind of business can get publicity, because I think often people think that their business is, their niche isn't interesting enough, or what they're doing isn't exciting enough. And I think that any business has the potential to get publicity. The clients that I'm working with at the moment, I've actually niched down even further and been working with service-based businesses. So it's really looking at people that want to share their knowledge and share their expertise and be seen as the go-to expert in their industry. Those are the sorts of people that I feel like I can really help. And so, any kind of, like I say, any kind of business can get publicity. It's just about taking action and actually going out there and doing it. And I think that's what a lot of people are kind of scared to take those first steps, and they don't perhaps know exactly what they should be doing. But, anyone who's kind of motivated enough to say, yes, I want to go out there and get publicity, those are the sorts of businesses that I love working with.
Very good. So let's say that you've taken on a new service-based client and they're meeting all of the tick boxes, the willingness and the desire to take action that you look for. Is it possible for you to then measure the effect of the PR exposure that you bring?
Yeah, it's a good question, because I think lots of people want to know, what's the ROI going to be? I think you have kind of the short-term gains that you can get, the kind of instant results that you can get with PR. So I've had clients I had one lady, and the week that she got media coverage, her sales went up by 200%. So she could definitely tie that in to the specific publicity that she got that week. And I've had other clients that have had similar 10 new clients in 1 week, and it was on the back of one particular article that had come out in a regional newspaper. So you get those kind of instant results sometimes, and things like your email list growing. And I've had people that have doubled or tripled their email list, and they can definitely link it to a particular article that's come out or a particular piece of coverage. But over time, when you start getting a lot of coverage, it can have this effect whereby, you start getting all these as seen in logos on your homepage. It's gradually positioning you as an expert. So over time, people that are coming onto your website and seeing that you've been featured in all these different places, they're able